Check. Check.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Wildwoods on a Wednesday night. It is home of the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. I am Doug Gann, filling in for Tom Boucher tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're online or out here in the crowd, which it's a beautiful crowd that's out here tonight. And you guys told me earlier that it was because of the football and swim and cross country. I thought it was because Tom wasn't going to be here tonight.
That's why you got the big crowd here.
I didn't want to get into any of that.
Hey, Tom.
Right, there he is. Head Coach David Perkins, defensive coordinator Thomas Scully joined. Actually, I joined them on there tonight. So, guys, thanks for having me out here. It's good to be out here. I got my. How about this Menard shirt?
Good in green.
I didn't get one. I didn't have one of the Menard polos and plaids shirts that look so good. Did Tom get y'all one of those?
Not yet.
I don't understand that. But y'all give him gear.
All the time.
I don't understand that at all.
All the time.
So, do have the helmet here. That was the prerequisite. Tom said, make sure you get the helmet. So, we've got the helmet on here tonight. But we're looking forward to a great night of talking Eagle football. Again, great crowd out there tonight. Is this? Yeah, give yourself.
Eagle crowd.
I don't know.
Eagles. Woo-hoo.
See Principal Gatlin out there and a lot of others.
Assistant principal.
Does he come over here and just stop talking about that? I mean, does he principal it up out here too?
He does. He comes out here almost every week. So he likes to show his. You see, he's probably over there politicking.
He tried to put Chuck in detention earlier. I don't know what that was. Big night tonight. We're going to talk the first half of the football season. I know we'll have Andrew and Jeffrey that'll come in a little bit later, and they'll talk to members of the swim team. There's members from cross country here, and then we'll have a senior spotlight tonight. You brought a couple of players with you. Tell me who those are.
I got a couple of seniors. I've got number 81, Drake Aldridge, one of our defensive linemen, also
one of our players of the week this year too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got number 12, Gavin Hilton, also a defensive player, plays a little bit of offense also. So I got both those guys out here tonight.
Well, excited to meet them, but we're going to jump right into it. So we do things a little bit different than Tom does, only because I forgot how he does it. So
I like different.
Well, you'll have it tonight for sure. We're going to talk a little bit about that Opelousas Catholic game that ended the non-district slate on there. We'll go through that briefly. But I want to take a look back at the first half of the season and how that got you, the record of teams that you played, where you guys are standing, and then look ahead. Because there's not many times that I can get coaches to look past this week that's right in front of us. But as we're on the door of kicking off the district slate, I'd like to do that.
Absolutely.
So take us a little bit through that Opelousas Catholic game.
Well, Opelousas Catholic's a very good team. They came into the game 1-3, but man, they had a really tough schedule, and we knew it was going to be a tough game for us. They got a really good quarterback. You see, assigned with ULL in baseball. He's a good athlete, and man, they had some really good skill guys, and they really took it to us. We made some mistakes, but when you get in a game like that, when you're playing a top team like that, there's certain plays during the game that when they're presented to you, you got to make those plays to be successful. And we had opportunities in the game to make some plays, and we didn't, and it cost us. And we'll learn from it, and we'll get ready for our next opponent.
Your next opponent, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, kicks off the district slate on there. Coach Scully, we talked to you a little bit. Some of the teams that you've played and took down some things. First half record for those teams that you guys played is 9-5. You played some good ball clubs. How does that get you and your defense ready for that district slate that's coming up?
Well, the challenge was they were very physical. All the teams, the three teams that we dropped games to, St. Fred's, St. Mary's, and Opelousas Catholic, of course, all Catholic schools. All of them 1A schools. Right. All of them in the top 8 in Division 4. So they all run the spread, and we'll see that later on. We do have some teams that will get in there and they'll run between the tackles, but these guys spread us out, and that was our challenge. I felt like we'd be good against the run all year, but to get spread out like we did over those 3 games. And them throwing the ball majority of the time, over about 65% of the time throwing the ball, it helped us get ready for the next 5 games that we have coming up next. In district, Pickering throws a little bit, and everybody else does too along the way. But just really the physicality of those guys just bringing it to us. And then it also taught our guys that, hey, look, when we think we're doing something good on defense, one phase of the game, we got another phase just on defense. And so we learned from those mistakes, and we've been able to try to fix those mistakes as well.
And I'd like to piggyback off that a little bit. I did say that Opelousas Catholic, had a 1-3 record, but we've played a tough schedule also. You said we were 9-5, and I think that,
9-5 on your opponent's records.
on our
that's
opponent's
correct.
records.
Yep.
And I think that playing that tough schedule the first part of the season is definitely going to get us ready for the district schedule, which will start this week. And so we're looking for big things. We think that we can compete for the district championship in this game. And we'll be at Pickering this Friday night, and we hope to get it started this weekend.
We'll dissect that district slate just in just a moment, too. But that 9-5 record, that's the 3 teams that you lost to at the start of the season. So you're going against teams that are putting up a lot of wins. One thing that does for you is it does increase the physicality of it, but they're going to win a lot of games throughout the season, and that's only going to help those power ratings, and we know how important that is.
Power ratings and we talk about it all the time to our team. We talk, and we would like to win out, and we would think that winning the district championship, winning out, we're going to be able to get some power points, especially off those teams that have beat us. And so we're looking to move up definitely in the power points.
And you certainly
every week
certainly should do that. All right, let's go back to the off season. And let's judge where you were because again the change made there as you move out of the press box and down onto the field. Did your time as an analyst for 446 Sports? No, that's not the question we're going to. But what a great question that would be.
It is a good question.
So what's the growth and maturity that you've seen out of this team since you took over, went through practice, and here we are at week 6 now?
Well, I've seen a lot of growth, but actually we kind of joke about that. But being up in the press box, kind of watching like a coach. Being a coach, I was able to watch them the last couple of years, and being at Menard for as long as I have, and knowing these kids, it was an advantage for me taking over because I know their capabilities. I know what they can do. I just thought it was up to me to get the guys in the right positions. We changed the positions on some guys. It's been night and day since the spring. Obviously, we had a lot of things to do early. We didn't have a lot of practices during the spring. Our baseball team did very, very well in the playoffs last year, and a lot of the baseball players are dudes in football, so we didn't get a lot of practice time. Played a very good team in the spring in Marksville, a very athletic team. We
started the season 4-0.
Started the season 4-0, absolutely. Did very well against them. We scrimmaged against Gina. You see what they're doing right now. They didn't score on us until late into the game, so we play some. Not only have we played tough competition during the regular season, we've also had tough competition, in the spring and then in the scrimmages. So, but yes, we have grown and we have gotten way better than we were when we first started in the spring. But we got Coach Julio Ortiz and Coach Redmond, all new coaches, or those guys are new coaches, and we changed the offense. So that's the defense, is ahead, but the offense took a little time, and we're still learning. So those guys are just getting better and better every week, and we're just looking for great things out of them the last 5 games.
Coach Gully, you talked about the physicality. You talked about the teams that you play. How does that get you ready mentally, your guys, when they get ready to go in there and say, look, we've faced a lot of good ball clubs. There's not anything in front of us that we need to be concerned about.
Well, that's the challenge, just what you said, that they kind of relax a little bit. So it's my job to make sure that we continue to stay physical. It's my job to continue to stay on them and say, look, yeah, they may not be as tough or their record might not be as good, but remember what we went through when we thought that 1-3 Opelousas Catholic wasn't going to be very good, and they come and they punched us in the mouth. So it's the challenge for me to make sure that we continue to play at that level where we started. And Coach mentioned Gina. I watch back. I go back and watch teams we've played 3-4 weeks previous. And the Gina game, that was probably the most physical game we played in a scrimmage in probably a quarter. It was a quarter we played.
Sure.
The most physical game we played. They were minus probably 10, 15 yards up until that last drive. They made a couple of changes. We didn't because we really didn't install the defense until after the scrimmage.
Right.
So, again, when you're looking for how good are we going to be defensively, it's how good are we going to be physically. We're going to figure out the X's and O's. We're going to get them in the right spot. But how many guys are going to go out there and punch somebody else in the mouth? And that's what I really look for. And that's my challenge to them every week. I don't like to relax, so I don't like them to relax. When they relax, then that bothers me. So I've got to continue to press them on.
And we've looked at that throughout the games. And you talk about that Gina squad that was out there. We just saw them this past weekend on one of our broadcasts as they played Tioga, and just a battle that it was over there. And so, do you can't shy away from those teams, right? I mean, I know you came in, your schedule was set already on there. So how are you with what you faced in the first half of the season?
No, I'm good. I'm glad we had the schedule that we have because it is a tough schedule. And, this is the third year we're in the schedule. So we've faced these teams before, and we knew what we would have to do and knew how good these teams are. And so I like playing good teams, tough teams at the beginning of the year. A lot of teams like to they rack up their schedule with W's, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure that helps you so much when it gets to playoff time. So, Menard has never shied away from playing a tough schedule or playing any tough teams. And, we're going to play whoever's in front of us. Obviously, next year I've done the scheduling myself for next year. And
how's that looking? Are you able to any changes?
I've changed it, and I'm not sure if I want to say who we're
and that's
playing
fine.
yet,
That's cool.
But it's going to be. And also, we'll say Gina's one of them that's going to be on our schedule the next 2 years.
A regular season game.
A regular season game.
Wow, that's going to be a good one.
And I've changed it. We're going to play Northwood. We're going to play Buckeye, and so 2 local teams, and we also have St. Mary's and Sacred Heart also. So good tough schedule. Wanted to change it up a little bit, play some local teams, talk to some of the local coaches, and so we decided to get together and play.
Atmosphere makes a team, makes a game, makes a program, and the kids are able to feed off of it. It's similar. There's a lot of atmosphere out here. This place is full out here tonight, but you get a game with a Buckeye. You get a game with a Northwood that are local games. You already know how Gina's going to travel and how they'll come down. How does that get you feeling about playing in front of those crowds, and what does it do for Menard football?
Well, we love playing in front of good crowds, and our crowds come out, and they come out not only at Menard, but they also come out when we travel. Atmosphere is everything in football. You want that atmosphere. Football probably more than just about any other sport. The players feed off of emotion. They can feed off the crowd. If it's loud out there, man, it's fun to play.
Indeed.
And you just get your blood pumping, and you want to go out there and just play. And I like to say something about, Coach, we like to play physical. Kind of piggyback again off what he said. A lot of teams are finesse teams, and they spread the ball, and we're not really that type of team. We're an old school type team, and
right.
We like to play physical, and we think that, just keep pounding on people for 4 quarters, and eventually, it's going to be in our favor.
Look, and it is that tempo, and that when you can establish your will along the line of scrimmages, that makes all of the difference in there. When these guys are playing together and they know what's going on, you're establishing that secondary line of scrimmage on offense, or you're pushing back into it. That gets in the other team's minds as well. It's got to, Coach.
It does, and one of the things that we talk about every day is it's being consistent,
right?
And so just like I'll use Opelousas Catholic, for example. First time we've had a team just run straight down the field and score on us. And like I told the kids when we came off the field, I said, guys, it was like they just ran through butter. Like we were not ready. We were not. So then we reset. And so we got to give them that chance. And so once we figure out what's going on and they had to spread out pretty good, then we were able to get settled in and get back to, okay, what are we best at? What are we going to take away? Where are we going to be physical? And we knew they were going to spread us from one end to the other. And I'm talking literally outside the numbers. Receivers on both sides were outside the numbers. That's tough to defend and stay physical. So we were able to reset a little bit. And then, just here and there were some breaks and some turns in the game that kind of got the score lopsided. But we continued to fight. And that's what I asked them at the end. Let's stay consistent with what we do.
Yeah, but, you talk about it getting a little lopsided at the end. It's because you're not you guys are going out there to win the game at every point. And if it's going to give up a big score, a late score, so be it. Because a 1-point loss to 20, it doesn't matter. You've got to go out there and try to win the ball game, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and just being consistent with how we play the game.
Right.
And don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated with each other. Give the respect that they earned, but also let's get better. And that's what we do, and we try to do that every day. We try to do it every week, especially on Fridays.
Right.
And up to this point, the offense did some really great things Friday night, and they've done some really great things this week. But it's like, okay, where are we going to find that niche? And once we find that niche, then that physicality on defense is going to, it's going to just work out perfect on offense too.
And we've got, our defense is a senior-laden defense, which is just absolutely wonderful to have.
Right.
They got 8 starters that are seniors. we got a lot of young guys on the offensive side of the ball that are like really just in their first year of starting,
Right.
especially at quarterback and at running back, those two positions, which we rely on greatly in this particular system that we're in. So, and we realize that, so we bring those guys along slowly. And like Coach said, we also have a bunch of defensive guys who are young guys who are eager to play. And so, in a game like last week, we're able to get some of those guys in and get some valuable game experience, because that's going to go a long way for next season.
Yeah.
And and we got some really good freshmen, and a couple of them play, a lot of minutes. And so anytime we can get those guys in a game, man, it's going to help us for next season.
There you go. We're going to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, we're going to recap our player of the game, and we'll recap our Southern Air Cool play of the game as well. And what a great job of flipping the field that one was. You've seen it on our Sunday show of Coach Speak. If you haven't checked that out, check us out at 5 o'clock on Sundays. That is Coach Speak, where we get all of our play-by-play guys together, and we just talk a little bit of football. We'll do all of that. You still have time. Come out and visit us. We are here at Wildwood Pizza. It's Wednesday night. That means it's the Eagles Nest Coaches Show, and you're watching it live on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Back to Wildwood Pizza on a Wednesday night. That means it is the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. Doug Gann alongside of Head Coach Perkins and Defensive Coordinator Coach Scully. And, guys, what a great night that it is. Wonderful crowds, cooled off a little bit, and it's just a great night to talk football.
Love this. And, we got some cool weather coming up this weekend.
A little bit of rain tomorrow, too.
A little bit of rain tomorrow, but it's going to feel really good next week. We're going to really feel like football weather next week, and we can't wait because, man, this summer and the fall,
it's been hot.
Man, it's been really, really hot and kind of dangerously hot. So, boy, what a relief that's going to be.
Indeed. Let's look ahead to your district slate, which starts this Friday night. You guys will take the trip down to Pickering. Is that right?
That's right. We'll be going down to Pickering to play the Red Devils. We've been road warriors this year so far. We played a lot of road games. Both of our wins are on the road. We're looking for win number 3 on the road here. So it'll be hopefully be 3 out of 4, and we get a district win and get the district off to a good start.
How important is it starting that district off at 1-0?
Well, you like to get ahead of everybody else because, a couple of other teams are going to lose, so you're already a game up and you're going to be tied with some other people, and eventually you're going to play them. So it's always good to win that first game.
couple of changes along the way. Of course, we know the departures that Rose Pine has had. They had some all-world players that were down there. They're gone and down a little bit this year. Vols loses their head coach this year. A little bit of changes they've lost. But that's got to make them a little bit dangerous. And I know you don't like to look ahead, but as we look at the back half of the season in district, we'll do that just tonight. But Pickering and Vols sitting there at 0-5 each, you certainly can't take that for granted at all.
No, you can't. And you know, Pickering also has a new coach, and so
that's right.
As we've watched film on them this week, you know, they started out in the double wing, similar to a Vols, but then as the games went on, they changed. They went to a 20 personnel, and then they went to a 10 personnel. So they're trying to compete as well. So they've changed a little bit of Vols, kind of sticking to what their bread and butter is, the double wing, and then also when they get in third downs, they'll spread the ball out as well. So they're actually kicking off, not onside kicking. They're actually punting the ball.
Right.
So they're trying to keep themselves in. But both teams have played really good schedules, especially at Vols. They had to inherit that schedule that Coach Boone left. And so, you know, really between Pickering and Vols, the schedules, don't sleep on those schedules because they're really improved teams from last year.
Well, you talk about that, and you guys sit there at 2-3. You can't allow that either. I mean,
right.
that's what you got to do. Then you have Rose Pine that sits at 2-3, and then everyone has that Oakdale matchup circled. Of course, that's always a big game for you guys.
And it will be, and you know, hopefully that might be for the district championship. It is our homecoming game, and it's not the homecoming game because it's an easy game. It's just the way that our schedule worked out this year with home
hard to
and
get a
away
ticket
games.
for that one.
Absolutely.
My goodness.
And you know, it's late in the season for a homecoming and the dance and all that kind of stuff, but it worked out that way. So we're hoping that's going to be for the district championship.
And then and that's the other important thing about starting out at 1-0, because you guys only play 4 district games. You don't have the 5 that normally, because of the way your district is a little bit smaller. And then you go out of district again in week 10 to Glen Oaks, which I think you've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, right. And it's kind of a, I don't know, unique situation. You know, with the 14 district, you're going to play another non-district game during the district schedule.
Right.
We happen to pull week 10, so we'll go. Well, actually, Glen Oaks will be coming up to us. We went down there last year, so that'll be our last game of the season, getting ready, hopefully, for the playoffs.
There you have it. So that's a look ahead at the season. I know we have a lot of things to work out before the night's over. This is the point normally you bring a couple of your seniors up here. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Coach, if you will, you stay here with me. Coach Scully, if you'll swap out your headsets with those guys, and we'll rotate. Rather than have them both here at the same time, we'll rotate them in and out of there. And by the way, Coach Scully, Coach Perkins, Tom says hi. So he's lounged
up,
up
Tom?
somewhere. And Chuck, our monitor went out here too. It's the flowers again. So we're back here, and then we've got it too. Yep, there you go. All right, Coach, why don't you go ahead and introduce who we have here with us?
Okay, so I've got number 81, Drake Aldridge. He's a senior. He is, well, he kind of, Drake, tell everybody what you do, where you play, and all the different positions you play.
I play pretty much anywhere on the football field. Anyway.
See, now, he got a shirt on that says the Standard.
That's right.
And that's that kind of attitude. You go wherever you're needed to go, that's where you go. What does that say to the rest of the teammates that have out there that we're here fighting no matter where we're at?
Yes, sir. I mean, hopefully it's wherever you play, you give it your all, and you have one assignment, and you do your assignment. And if everybody does their assignment, you win.
Right.
I have a bunch of guys laugh at me when I say that, but if you really think about it.
If you go back down, because all the coaches like to do is break it down to blocking and tackling and doing the fundamentals. And if you're not worried about the other 10 guys' jobs and you're just doing theirs, and each of those are that way, it's going to be a successful play.
Yes, sir. It all falls into place. If everybody does their job, you don't have to worry about anything.
As a senior here at Menard, tell me about your experience throughout.
We had a rough few years when I was a freshman. I played a little bit as a freshman. Outside linebacker, kickoff, kick return, a little bit of outside linebacker. Then my sophomore years when I really started playing, I played tight end, and I played defensive tackle. And then my junior years when I stepped up to defensive end,
Right.
and got to rush around the end.
Hey, you like that? Do you enjoy that part of it?
I love it. I do. I like hitting people.
That's an understatement. He likes rushing. We'll move Drake around. He'll play a little bit of, what old school would be defensive end, but outside linebacker.
Right.
But we can move him around. He can play inside linebacker wherever he likes to rush the quarterback. But the thing, we talk about playing physical, and Drake is a very physical player. So the players feed off of him. He's the prototype. He's the guy that we say, hey, this is how we want you to play. This is when we say we want you to play physical. This is what we mean.
Coach Scully talked about that physicality and what you guys faced in the first half of the season. How does that get you ready for a run at a district title this year?
In my opinion, physicality is like the most important thing in football, because if you don't have it, you shouldn't be playing football. I mean,
I think we're done here. That's right. That's one of those walk-off answers that you just like to hear. Drake, I know you were Player of the Week 1 week a little bit earlier too for the performance, and Tom Boucher raves about the play that's out there, and so looking forward to a great district season and a wonderful senior season for you. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it,
Thank
buddy.
you.
All right, there you go. We'll mute that, and we'll get. Look, I don't want anybody getting hurt jumping over them wires. There you
y'all
go.
watch
That's the
yourself.
last thing I need.
Put that on.
Again, we are in the middle of our senior spotlight here, so Coach, go ahead.
Okay, so I have another senior. This is number 12, Gavin Hilton.
Okay.
He plays safety for our defense.
Okay.
He also plays a little slot and a little H-back for our offense. And but he's kind of like Drake, though, man. We can put him anywhere. We got a little package for him where he quarterbacks, and so he can throw the ball, he can catch the ball. He can
At the same play?
He can intercept the same
On the
play.
same play?
The
That's
same
what I'm
play.
talking about.
He's got a few interceptions, and we depend on him to come up and make tackles. So he does a great job.
What does it do for you mentally knowing that you could be called on at any time to play any position?
I mean, I guess it's good, I guess. I mean, like, just being able to be dependable and, like, just whenever I go do a job, just make it happen and just, yeah.
What's your favorite side of the ball?
I like defense more.
Like to hit people rather than get hit?
I like play. Safety's fun, just being able to, like get interceptions and hit people and stuff. And you get to, like, read the whole field, so.
As a senior, what are you trying to leave as a legacy for those younger guys? Coach Perkins talked about some of those freshmen that are coming up and playing. But as a senior on this Eagle Ball Club, what are you trying to leave behind?
The show just, like, let's see.
Well, heck, these guys haven't won a district championship, in football. Now, these are baseball players, so they've won multiple district championships in baseball. So so I'm trying to get that culture to football, and hopefully these guys have kind of led the way a little bit.
Who's tougher on you, Coach Scully or Coach Marks?
Coach Scully.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, Coach Scully is.
So, now you guys had a great season last year. Looking ahead to the district, we talked about it, and you guys, the physicality is there. You open up on the road at Pickering Friday night. What does that opening of district mean to you guys?
It's just like a new season starts, and, like, we haven't won district champs since, like, 2010 is what it was.
That's it.
And I think we can do it this year. I mean, like, Rose Pond and the Boils are kind of like our two, I guess, would be the ones harder, but they lost a bunch of people, so I think we have a chance for sure.
You guys are going into it with that mindset, though, that you're the ones to beat.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that,
Gotta
Coach,
be.
we've talked about it, because if you go out there and you're looking around and you don't have that mindset, that's when you end up going
Well, I've
out there.
tried to instill in these guys that we're the team to beat for the district championship, and hopefully they'll take that challenge. Like we said, Gavin, also he's on all the special teams too. So he's returning kicks, he's returning punts. Got some other little tricky things that he may be involved in. I don't want to talk about that too much, but
That's why we have our Sunday show called Coach Speak, because we'll get into a lot more of that and just won't add that. But, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. So, and we've played well on the road. I think sometimes when you go on the road, there's less distractions a little bit. You might be a little bit more focused. I especially think that applies to this team. So, we're looking for our third win on the road, all on the road, and hopefully the week after we'll come back and get our first home win.
There you go. We're looking forward to it. Gavin, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the work that you put in as a senior and the time that you played here at Menard.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That is our senior spotlight. When we come back, we're going to let the interns come in here, Andrew and Jeffrey. Oh.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Here for anything else tonight except
Softball.
that. So, look, I love how that works. Does that work? Softball. See, there you go.
A lot of softball.
No
people out here.
tie-in to the fact that it's Wine Wednesday here either. I don't want to get into.
I'm sure it has a lot to do with it.
I just call them like I see them. That's all.
Right. But you know, in baseball, played for the state championship.
That's right.
Our boys soccer team played for the state championship. So I'm telling you, the athletics at Menard is top notch. You're doing well, and football is catching up to that.
Well, I like the direction that everything is going. So you talked about Anna Chalette a little bit earlier. She's the senior that won the state title there in swim. I've got to think I had a little bit to do with that, okay? So it was a couple of years ago, rode around with them a little bit, and I said, look, if you want to win, you just got to swim faster. And there you
What
go.
a concept.
There you have it.
And
Coach
that-
Redmond agreed with me when it came to cross country,
and that's
too.
exactly what she did. She swam a little bit faster last year than she did the year before, and
See?
she won the state championship.
There you go. Just now has to build on that, swim a little bit faster.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. But no, a lot of great things going on at Menard. Great crowd that has made it out tonight. It's a great time to be here at Menard, and it's shown. I've had a blast filling in for Tom, who is on assignment up in New York tonight, I believe is where he's at. So Tom will be watching the show, and he'll watch the game Friday night. Scott Mills will be on the call for that trip to Pickering. So we're excited about that. Chuck, do we have the cool play that we're able to go? We've got all the way towards the end of the show and haven't talked about our Southern Air cool play of the game. And I looked at it on our Coach Speak show. It was the young man Hicks that's your kicker.
Ryan
that's
Hicks.
on there, Ryan Hicks. And the punt measured, I think, was at 53 yards that it went.
like that. Yep.
But he kicks from almost near his end zone and flips the field to the other. And as a defensive coordinator, you got to love that.
Well, and that's what I get excited about. And we talk to Ryan all the time, or I do, even with our kickoffs. I said, look, if you don't feel like you can put it in the end zone, let's kick it to a corner, and let's get them to run it out of the corner. Same thing with the punts. You know, we try to give him as much protection as we can, but the key is let's just flip the field for us. And we're going to get down that field, and it's huge. It's such a huge weapon.
Right.
You know, and you hear so many coaches talk about 3 phases. Our third phase is probably one of our best phases, and that third phase for us is our kicking game, special teams, and so he's huge. He's a huge asset. So we got to try to protect him a little bit.
And it was 63 yards on the punt. Chuck, I think we have an opportunity. You know, so I've got the number on here, and I still didn't know that it was 63. I don't know where that came. But anyway, do you have that, Chuck? So the folks at home will be able to see our Southern Air cool play of the game. Go ahead, Chuck, and run that.
Yeah, and like Coach said, you know, Ryan, he'll flip the field for you. You know, and being a soccer player, he is so good whenever we tell him, especially on kickoffs, to kick it to a certain spot on the field or to a certain player on the field. And 9 times out of 10, he'll kick it exactly where you want it to. He can kick it with velocity. He can kick it with not a lot of velocity, high, not high. He's just a tremendous asset, like Coach said. And, like, man, and when you got a defensive team like we can and you're able to back the other team up, man, you're going to get good field position out of it.
Look, Nick, we'll watch it again here on the booth. You'll see he's standing in the shadow of his goal line and gets a foot into this, and this is what they call a good Menard roll.
Absolutely.
As that ball rolled probably 30 yards. And look, the special teams getting down there and doing it with a little sass of touching that one down. That's what you like to see. That's showing that, hey, we understand what our kicker just did for us, and it gives that defense an opportunity. You know, Nick Magnano has joined me in the booth for the Alexandria games that we call, and he says loves the idea of having the kickers come off of the soccer field and come in there. He says, but the football coach will tell him, kick it high, and they spend the whole rest of the time telling him to kick it low, kick it low. So, but it's good to see these players out of this area that have played soccer, have grown up playing soccer, are now going to play some football on Saturdays for kicking the football.
And they can do a really good job of it. Even our backup kickers, they're all soccer players too. You know, Nate Matthews, he's a soccer player. He's one of our backup kickers. And actually, Ryan's brother, Matt, who's a freshman, he's also a kicker. So you're going to be seeing the Hicks name probably a lot. And you see Nate Matthews next year. So a lot of, you know, it's a great thing to be able to pull somebody from the soccer team to be your kicker. And like Coach said, you know, we work on special teams every day. It's the third team, and, you know, and we use it, and we try to use it to our advantage. And when you got a great kicker punter like that, man, it just makes all the difference in the world for you.
You know, we talked about getting the young men off of the soccer field. Menard, a little bit smaller school. You talked earlier in the broadcast about how you've got your baseball players, you've got some of these other guys. A school the size of Menard, you got to do that. You have to go out and share these players.
You do, and you know, that's the unique thing. If you take a look at our seniors, I think it's 12 seniors. 10 of those seniors play baseball.
Right.
Out of that, 2 of them guys play basketball. So, you know, and some of them have played at one time, all 3. So, you know, that's what's huge. That's the buy-in,
right.
and that's the closeness of the school and the community of the school. But those guys understand, and everybody has everybody coaches differently. Just like softball, I don't coach the same as I do on the football field. Well, Coach Jordan and I don't coach the same way. So they're going to get a different version of me, and then they go to baseball, and then now they go to basketball. So you've got 3 different versions, but the expectations don't change, and they know what the winning's all about, and that's what we've got to continue to instill.
Gavin was on here with us, right? We spoke to Gavin before the fumble here, and we did ask him who was tougher of a coach, you or Coach Jordan Marks. And
I think I know what he said.
Yeah, he said you. There was no doubt at all about that. Coach, you talked about community, and it's on display here tonight, and it's been that way throughout the season out here at Wildwood Pizza. We've been to a lot of the fundraising events that Menard has, and everybody shows up in mass to these things. And so kudos to all that's going on at Menard, and it was my pleasure being a part of this tonight.
Yeah, appreciate that. And with kudos to our fans, they are always supportive. No matter what the situation is, we can call our parents or got people that are alums, anybody, and they are willing and ready to help us at any moment. So it's great to be at Menard and have this kind of support.
Well, there you go. Guys, that's going to wrap it up tonight for us from Wildwood Pizza. Again, as we always say, don't watch the game Friday night. Go out to the place and watch it. You can watch this one on the way home. You don't have to do it there. Take your phone with you, pull it up when a big play happens, and go live and support these kids because they deserve you to go out there in the community to get behind them. So, as always, we tell you, go to the stadium and watch us later. That's going to wrap it up here from Wildwood Pizza. From my man Chuck Perkins pushing all of the buttons, a big shout-out to you, Coach Thomas Scully, Head Coach David Perkins. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night.
Go Eagles.